Hey y'all, this is L Thick Madame. Y'all, the sun is doing the absolute most. And it's just messing up the lighting and things because the rain is on pause at the moment. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this Love and Marriage Huntsville recap. Y'all, okay, so it started off with Melody going upstairs to the room her husband stays in and saying to him, waking him up first of all, and saying, where were you? You know I'm pregnant. We supposed to be, you know you're supposed to be doing all these things for me because I'm pregnant. And he was like, well, I was at Kimmy's son's 21st birthday party. And I still came home at a reasonable hour, all this other stuff, whatever, y'all. I'm just like, girl, you want too much. You want everything and nothing at the same time. Why are you telling this man, how dare you, and where have you been and all this when you say you don't want nothing to do with him? Stop. Anyway, he felt like that was the perfect opportunity to tell her that, I met up with Marceau and he was telling me about how you brought up information about old girl calling again. And I thought we agreed that information like that would not be spread to people again because, it got out of hand last time. Y'all, it's just a lot. Y'all, hopefully y'all can see me because this sun is like setting it off like randomly. I don't understand why it's doing all this. Y'all, anyway, so Kimmy and her sister meet up because they are trying to find an event space because they are going to do something with some toiletries because a lot of people cannot afford the toiletries that they need, like for real. Like it is really real out here. So they're at this place and, they've settled on it. Even though it is really, really big, they want to get the place and they feel like they can set it up in a way where despite it being such a big place, because it's outside and open, they'll be able to set it up in a way where they won't have to use all of it, but they really feel like it's so pretty and all that. Y'all, anyway, while they are still settling on it, even though they haven't, confirmed with the people at the place yet, Kimmy's talking to her sister about what happened when they were in Gatlinburg and how Kiowa is going to be coming down to Huntsville. And so she was looking at her like, what you mean? And so she was like, yeah, they're supposed to be moving down here. And all I know is I don't want the drama. And she doesn't like me. And I don't understand why she doesn't like me because... And then her sister was like, what is it? And so she was like, I don't know. I mean, she said that she has a problem with me because I started dating Maurice while they were still together. But they were very much so over before we ever started dating. So I don't understand why she is under the impression that that's the situation. She said that she feels as though she deserves an apology for all the disrespect. So I don't know if she's going to get that anytime soon. And if she does, if it will be even sincere. So I wouldn't even go looking for that from her. Because she seemed like she's still in her feelings about something that happened, I don't know how long ago. 7, 8, 9 years ago. So, girl, you might be looking for that forever. Anyway, Martell and Melody went on this radio show. Y'all, I was here for this part. They went on this radio show to discuss their business. And they were asked about the comeback group. And... y'all, the fact that this woman brought up the infidelity, all the cheating, all that stuff, I am here for it because, like I told y'all before, Melody and the other ladies went on Sister Circle. They didn't sit up there and discuss the pregnancy because, see, that was further out than this. Melody was like really early in this pregnancy, but I'm just saying. But they didn't discuss the cheating on there. They didn't discuss her pregnancy, which you could obviously see was right in front of their faces. And I'm like, okay, maybe they said ahead of time, don't ask me about this or whatever. But I'm just like, that woman did not care. That woman was straight up like, okay, so we see all this stuff playing out on TV or whatever. So how are you handling that? How are you handling that and what's going on with that? Like, that woman was very bold with it and I was here for it. So, they handled the question well, but I'm actually glad that somebody actually asked the questions that they needed to ask instead of acting like, oh, there's an elephant in the room, but let's just go all around it and, not address it. Anyway, Letitia and Marceau are at the house getting ready to go to Melody and Martell's house for game night. Letitia is having reservations about it because she and Melody are still not on the same page. And Marceau is like, I don't understand why y'all aren't on the greatest of terms, because I feel like if me and Martell can start moving forward, that you can too. And he actually called his wife out and said that she seems to be like the only one who isn't trying to move forward in a positive way so that the friendships can start to be rebuilt. So she's in her feelings about it, and she really was like, can we just stay at home or whatever? And, he told her, like, look, we got a babysitter. One of two things gonna happen. Either we gonna go to this either we gonna go to this game night, or we gonna carve out 45 minutes where we do all kinds of little nasty things together. And so she was just like, yeah, no. So they're gonna go, and I'm just like, whatever, y'all. Then they, before and then after that happened, he told her that he thinks that, like I said, he thinks that everybody else is trying harder than she is, and she, of course, felt offended by that, but it's the truth in a sense, y'all. And then he actually talked to her about what was said to him by Melody, which was that the side chick called or whatever. So I was like, oh gosh, y'all. Anyway, so the Holts are getting ready for game night, Melody and Martell. And Maurice and Kimmy are at the house getting ready for it too. They are the ones who are hosting it, the Holts. And Maurice has on a comeback t-shirt. And so she was like, what you doing with that on? And so he was like, I don't know, hopefully it'll stir up something and it'll be good. And we can, discuss a little bit about the comeback group. And so she was like, I just want to understand, why is it that when we do events, we can't actually specify that we can do it under the comeback group name. So that's something that she wants to definitely bring up. Okay, so Maurice and Kimmy are the first ones to arrive at the game night. And Martell is so dumb, y'all. He was over here saying certain things that would lead anybody, even if I didn't know them personally, I would have been like, wait a minute, okay. Y'all, he's saying certain things that are leading them to believe that Melody is pregnant. Because they said something about working on more kids. And so he was like, at first he said 2 kids that he wanted to have. And then he said something about how there is one. It's like the way he said it, the way he worded it. It was like, girl, it was like, sir, what you talking about? What? And so they asked, was she pregnant? And Melody kind of tried to be like, but then he just kept putting his foot in his mouth. And then she had to confirm that she was indeed pregnant. And so Kimmy was happy and hugged her and all that stuff. And, then Letitia and Marceau arrived. And so Letitia had to go to the bathroom. So Kimmy went outside with Melody and they were talking. And so she was like, for obvious reasons, can you, not tell her that I'm pregnant or whatever. And so, she was like, yeah, I can keep that secret for you, y'all. So then Letitia came outside. And so she was like, oh, what y'all talking about? Because she noticed from inside that, they had their own little side conversation going on. And Kimmy tried to make it seem like she was just saying to her how beautiful it is outside, which she did mention that at one point in time, but that wasn't the in-depth conversation that was happening. And even Letitia realizes that. So they ended up apologizing to one another, Melody and Letitia, and they're trying to move forward. But that to me, it's still remnant of the way that their interaction went when they were at Gatlinburg. It was kind of like, I'm sorry. Okay, we still on the same page we was on before, nowhere. So I'm just like, why y'all keep saying y'all sorry and y'all not gonna move forward for real? Anyway, y'all, so there's going to be another couple that's going to be there that we've never seen before. Y'all, this name, I ain't never heard of this in my life. The dude's name is LaBerrick, Laberrick, LaBerrick. And his wife's name is Destiny. I mean, they are engaged to be married, actually. they got married, if it still did happen. I think it happened in September. So anyway, at the time of the filming, they were engaged to be married, and the both of them own a barbecue establishment. Apparently it's a very good place. And so Derek and his wife came. Kimmy wanted to know what is going on with the comeback group, and Kimmy actually put out a flyer, and it said something within the flyer, come on out and meet the comeback group. And so that's when Melody actually brought up, like, what is going on with this? You want to talk about the comeback group? I saw on social media or somewhere, I saw a flyer where you said something about the comeback group. And, you know, unless we have a meeting and vote on this, you're not supposed to use the comeback group in anything. And so Kimmy was like, I don't feel like we should have to do that. Y'all, so Kimmy got in her feelings, and it was actually kind of a back and forth. It wasn't too heated, but it was enough to where Letitia kind of interrupted it all and was like, Kimmy, can I speak to you for a minute? So they went downstairs to the kitchen to talk, because Letitia did want to get something else to drink. And so they were talking, and, you know, they talked about the comeback group a little bit, but then her real motive for bringing her down there was to see what they were talking about in secret. And so she was like, are you going to tell me or not? She was like, yeah, I can't tell you. So she's in her feelings about it. And I'm just like, girl. Yeah, Melody and Martell go to this counseling session, and she finally did agree to go, and they went, and the guy told Martell that he needs to be more vulnerable. And it's crazy how that whole session went, because he usually is always in protect mode. He really is always trying to protect himself in whatever he's saying instead of being vulnerable. So she said that he put himself first and didn't feel protected, and, you know, that's not how it should be. He said that he felt like he wasn't wanted, and it got to a point where they would get on the phone, and she would barely talk to him 5 minutes, and the other woman fill the void. And, you know, of course, she became very hurt by those statements, and he said that she isn't good with time management. And it's like he just started throwing out a lot of random stuff, saying that she's at fault for all of this. And she was like, well, I don't understand where you find all this time. I don't understand where you find all this time. And that's when he was talking about how she has terrible time management, because he really did have all kinds of time to sit up there and have a whole situation. He had a whole girlfriend on the side, like for real, a whole girlfriend. And y'all, he was just like, I just feel like I don't get appreciated. And she let him know, like, I don't look for validation. And so he told her, well, you know, I get that, but ever since I got with you, you never had to look for it, because I always gave it to you. I always gave you all of these things. So for you to say that you're not looking for it, I mean, okay, but, you know, he wants that validation. So he needs to make himself available. He tried to make it seem like she needs to make herself available to him. And even the therapist said that something is going on in his history for him to just feel like there needs to be acknowledgement and all this, to the point where he's putting it all on her. And it was just like, oh, wait, that was lifted off Melody, because she was just like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because there really is something going on. And eventually we're going to see some kind of scene later on in this season where he has an interaction with his daddy. Because he never got the acknowledgement that he wanted or needed. And I'm just trying to figure out what it could be. But anyway, y'all, that was the episode. It was an alright episode, and, you know, I'll be here for the next one. I hope y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all later on. Bye.